Good morning students. Welcome back to the fifth and the last session of the chapter Two Gentlemen of Verona, written by A.J. Cronin. In our previous class, we learned that these two boys every Sunday they make a visit to Poleta, so which is just 30 kilometers away from Verona city. So every week they used to go by hiring a bicycle. But since the author asked them if they need any help or a favor, so Jacopo, he will ask whether he can lend the car and a driver so that he can take them to Poleta. But unfortunately, author had given Luigi a day off. So that's why he will decide that he will drop them to Poleta. Whereas initially, Nicola was not at all happy to bother the author, but at last he will agree. And finally, on Sunday afternoon, they will decide to go, and afternoon they will leave to Poleta. And as they were going, author was thinking that these two boys will take them to a small, humble dwelling. But he was so shocked to see he parked his car in front of a big red roofed villa, and it was surrounded by high stone walls. He was astonished to see such a beautiful villa, and it aroused his curiosity. He wanted to know where he has come or why those two boys have come here. He wanted to go and find out. Meanwhile, Nicola will shout saying that, "Sir, you can go have coffee." Nicola indirectly he will ask the narrator not to come, whereas he will tell the author to drink coffee and to come back within an hour, whereas those two boys will be back in an hour and they will disappear. So the author, he was very much observant and he wanted to know why those two boys have come here. So that's the reason he will wait until these two boys disappear, and once these two boys disappear, what he does is he will slowly get out of the car and he will go in order to find out whose villa is that, and he will ring the doorbell. The moment he rings the doorbell, a ruddy complexioned woman will open the door. She will be wearing a steam rimmed glass and she will be dressed in white uniform, which shows that she is a trained nurse. He was so shocked to see a nurse opening the door. He will convince her that he is the one who brought those two boys, and she will be very happy to receive the author. So she will invite him in and she will take author to those two boys. Then he will realize that this red roofed villa is no more a villa, whereas it is a hospital. He will go to a ward where a girl will be sitting. Their face seems to be so familiar that by looking at them, one can say that they are siblings. So the girl who was sitting on the bed was their sister. Then this nurse will start narrating the struggle or the hardship which those two boys had to undergo because of the war. They struggled a lot. They lost their father and they lost their house. Though they lost their father, then the house, they did not give up. Instead, whatever broken bricks they had, they made a shelter out of that. They somehow survived the cold winter. So not just that, the role played by those two boys during the war was significant. There was a chance where if they had caught, they would have shot. Their patriotism and the hatred towards German shows that or proves that those two boys are very brave. They fought against them. That is because of Germans, they lost everything they had, which was everything dear to them, they lost because of them. That's the reason they joined the resistance movement to fight against these Germans. Since those two boys were so young and tiny, nobody would doubt them. So till here we discussed in our previous class. Let us continue. Open page number 106. The good nurse broke off, her eyes moist. Then with even deeper feeling she went on. When this nurse was narrating the incident, the tragedy about those two boys, she broke off. She becomes emotional. That is because she could feel the pain which those two boys went through. So it was very much painful and terrible. At that age, they had to undergo so much hardships. By remembering those painful, tragic movement, she starts crying, and with great emotion, with deeper feeling, she starts narrating further about those two boys. I need not tell you how fine they were, these infants, how they went in the darkness through the mountain passes with letters in their shoes which might cause them to be shot. And when it was all over and we had peace at last, they came back to their beloved sister, and they found her suffering from tuberculosis of the spine, contracted during the miseries of the war. So these two boys, they were passing messages. Passing messages is not an easy task. There is the danger of being shot if caught, but they carry out the information fearlessly about the German troops to the members of the resistance movement. So without any fear, they just had one goal, that they have to defeat the Germans. With that aim, with that great courage and bravery, they will carry out the information to the members of the resistance movement. It was not so easy. If they caught, they would have shot dead. So whatever they did to fight against the Germans was commendable. Though it was a small job, though it was just passing their messages, though it was very little, it was of a great help to the members of the resistance movement. And after the war, they come back. They come back very happily because they were able to defeat the Germans. Not directly, of course, but Germans were defeated. That's what the matter. So they were so happy that Germans were defeated. And they come back, and when they come back and see, there was a shock awaiting them. That is, their sister Lucia, she was suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. That is because of the war. They were heartbroken. So they were just trying to recover from the previous loss. But unfortunately, there was one more tragic which was waiting for them, that their beloved sister was suffering from TB of the spine. So which was a really terrible and shocking for them, because they had no one left. Only those two boys and their sister Lucia. Only there were three of them. They had no one else, no other family members. So they had only their sister. Now their sister is also suffering. So one can imagine how difficult it was to digest incident that their sister is not healthy anymore. She is suffering from an illness. She paused, took a quick breath. Did they give up? I do not have to answer that question. They brought her here, persuaded us to take her into the hospital. In the 12 months she has been our patient. She has made good progress. There is every hope that one day she will walk and sing again. Despite facing so many problems in their early life, The boys did not lose hope. The brothers' positive approach and determination to get their sister cured had helped the staff treat her well. So, when these two boys got to know that their sister is suffering from TB of the spine, they will not give up. Rather, they made sure their sister gets the best care and the treatment. Though they had nothing to eat, they had no shelter, they had no clothes to wear, they made sure their sister is admitted in well-equipped hospital, and they will take her to that red-roofed villa which had converted into hospital. Initially, the people in the hospital did not agree. That is because they had no one, and they thought that it is not possible for these two boys to pay the bill for the treatment. Though they rejected her, they did not admit her into the hospital, they will make sure their sister is admitted and they will pursue it. They will request those people, promising that they will pay whatever required bill they had to pay. And for 12 months she was in that hospital, and the 12 months without even missing a single payment. And it was a good news that she was recovering from her illness. She was getting better day by day. So, and there is a hope that one day she would definitely walk on her feet and she will start singing. Out of so many struggle or a hardship, there was one hope that she would be better and she will start singing again. Of course, everything is so difficult now. Food so scarce and dear. We could not keep going unless we charged a fee. But every week, Lucia's brothers have made their payment. She added simply, I do not know what do they do. I do not ask. Work is so scarce in Verona. But whatever it is, I know they do it well. The nurse explained the helpless state of the hospital, that there is less availability of food, therefore they couldn't treat her of a free of cost. They had to charge because everything was very costly and there was shortage of food. Though everything is costly and shortage, these two boys, without missing even a single payment, they made sure that they make payment for their sister. They made sure that every week they make their payment so that nothing harm, or so there will be no stop of the treatment. That's the reason every week without missing a single payment for 12 months. It is not just 1 or 2 months, for almost a year. So they made sure every week they make their payment without miss. And also she adds that she never asked those two boys from where they get the money, because she is very much sure that whatever means they are making the money, which will be of a good means. So they would not cheat anybody or they would not harm anybody to make the money. So whatever the ways they are following to make money, that would be of their hard work. She knows that very well. That's why she says that she never asked those boys from where they got the money, because she knows that work is scarce in Verona. Though work is scarce there, she knows that somehow these boys will make sure or they arrange the money to get their sister better or to get their sister a better treatment. So where we can see the selfless attitude or the behavior of those two boys. They were struggling. They had nothing healthy to eat. They had no clothes to wear. They had no shelter to rest. But they made sure their sister is wearing good clothes. They made sure that their sister gets better treatment. So like that, they made sure that their sister gets the best of everything. Though those two boys were struggling from dawn to dusk, which shows that they love their sister to the core. So they were ready to do anything for their sister's treatment, or they were ready to do anything for their sister's sake. So that much they loved their sister. It is very rare to find such people, right? So everyone are so selfish in this world. It is very rare to see such young boys dedicating their own life or dedicating themselves for the betterment of their sister. So like this, these two boys made sure their sister is fine and healthy by sacrificing their own happiness, sleep and health. Yes, I agreed. They couldn't do it better. I waited outside until the boys rejoined me, then drove them back to the city. They sat beside me, not speaking, in a mood of quiet contentment. For my part, I did not say a word. I knew they would prefer to feel that they had safely kept their secret. The narrator agreed, as he actually knew that the boys really worked hard to get the money for their sister's treatment. The narrator was touched. So when he got to know about these two boys, he was speechless. He had a high respect for these two boys. He didn't know what to say, and he will go and he will sit in the car as if he did not know anything. So he knows that they prefer to keep their secrets. They prefer to keep their secrets, that is because they wanted no sympathy from anyone. So that's why when they came, he did not speak a word. He did not utter a single word, nor those boys spoke. They were very happy and satisfied for two reasons. One is they spoke to their sister and the sister is getting better. So they were very happy and satisfied for that, thinking that sister is getting better. The second one, they were happy thinking that this author did not come to know anything. They did not speak any word. They were just relishing the happy movement with their sister. Yet, this silent epic of youthful devotion had touched me deeply. War, with its attendant horror, had not broken their spirit. And if an untimely maturity had been forced upon them, at least they had accepted it with dignity and courage. Their selfless action brought a new nobility to human life, gave promise to a greater hope for human society. So the narrator was touched by the love and the devotion they had towards their sister. Hardship and sadness had not deterred them. So the narrator had understood about their character very well. He did not sympathize with them because they did not want any sympathy from anyone. That's why he was quiet. He did not do anything, nor he spoke to those boys. So these two boys did not bother about their needs. They would have eaten good food or worn good clothes because they were earning well. So they were making good amount of money. But they did not worry about themselves, whereas they wanted the best for their sister. So the narrator felt that such a humble youth gives our society a hope for a better tomorrow. In such times of war, weapons and hatred, still there is a hope for humanity. So like this, the narrator concludes saying that as long as people are willing to make sacrifices for the sake of others, there is still a hope for humanity. So the qualities like determination, dignity of work, selflessness, love, dedication, because these two boys possess all these qualities, the narrator calls these two boys as a gentleman. So they are gentlemen of Verona. Students, we will also try to implement such qualities in us. Only then we can hope that there's an existence of humanity in the society. Thank you.